is the second video of constructions. Today we're going over CS2, this one right here. Okay, so make sure in order to do this video you want your flip book, okay, something to write with. It might help to have some colors. If you have them, you want to get your compass and definitely get a straight edge. So if you don't have a protractor, that's okay. You just need something that has a straight edge. So it could be a ruler or a notebook or a piece of paper or something that will let you draw a straight line. Okay? Alright, so today we need to open up our flip book to CS2. So take the CS1 and open it up to blank spot. Okay? So today you're going to learn how to copy angles. Alright. Okay, so what it always looks like, alright, the beginning, right, this is what they give you, alright. They're always going to give you an angle. So I'm just going to draw any kind of angle. And we're going to call it A, angle A, okay? So they're always going to give you an angle and ask you to copy it, right? Because we are copying angles today. So step 1, right? In order to copy this angle, you need to draw a line. In fact, you're drawing more of a ray than a line because you really only want one arrow and then you want one endpoint. So we'll call the endpoint B. Okay, so that's step 1. Okay, step 2. Okay, you take your original angle. So let me draw it again. Right, it was called A, okay, and you're going to need your original line that you now have, okay, and you are going to take your compass, right, this thing, and you see the pointy part, that's going to go on A, the vertex, as you can see, right, you put it like this, and then you just kind of open it up a little bit. Don't make it so big that it's bigger than your angle. So just kind of close it so it's about halfway, and less, it doesn't matter, okay? Alright, so you put it on here, and you just swing it so it makes part of a circle. Right, and I know it's hard to see, so I'm just going to use my colors. Alright, so it ends up making an arc like so, okay? And by creating this arc, it creates two intersections. So we're just going to label those C and D, right? Okay, then what you do is you take that same width, so don't change how wide the compass is, don't change the radius of the circle that it would create, and you put it back on B, and you just swing it on line B as well. So I'm going to make this one red as well. Okay, so this is step 2. Okay, what you're doing is you're trying to figure out how wide this angle is. Okay, so you need sort of a common arcs on each one, similar to what we did with lines, right? Okay, so that's step 2. So remember, step 1, right, was to draw a ray. Okay, step 2 was to draw an arc from vertex A and repeat on ray B. Okay, so we've done step 1 and step 2. Alright, now on to step number 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do for step 3 is I'm just going to quickly draw my picture from step 2. So far, remember, we had an angle, named it A, and then we drew an arc. Oops, arc messed up a little bit. That's okay. Right? Name the intersections C and D. Okay. Oh, don't forget, this one is now E. Okay. Then we had another line, or ray, B, excuse me, and you had the same arc, E. So this is what we did in step 2, right? So then step 3, what you're going to do is you're going to use this arc that you made with these two intersections, and you're just going to measure how wide it is using your compass. So put the pointy part on C and put the pencil on D. See, now we know how wide. Or you can do it this way too. Okay? It doesn't matter. You just want your compass's width to match how to get from D to C. Okay? Just to check, if I swing it, it would make, sorry guys, would make a little arc like so. Looks like this. Do it with yellow. Then you take that same width and you move it down to E to make the same little arc. Okay? So you measure the width of angle A, or C to D, and draw arc on the new picture, right? The one that has B. Okay, and there's a lot of ways to describe this. Essentially, you want two new arcs, right, that are measuring the width of the angle, right? Because in order to copy the angle, you need to have the same width, because that's what an angle is, right? It's to measure the width from line to line, okay? So this was step 3, okay? The last step, step 4, okay? So you want your two pictures again, so I'm just going to copy what we've done so far. And I'm just sketching it, that's okay, because these are just notes, right? We had this angle, this arc, right? So notice a swing is called an arc, D, C, right? And then we had another little swing at C. And then we have the new one that has B. It has the arc from CD, which we named E. And then we have this intersection, right? So we're going to call where these two cross F. So I'll call it F up here too. Okay. Right, the last step is just to connect B and F. Okay. Connect B and F. So connect B and F. Now mine is a little bit off, right? Notice this one does look a little bit fatter than this one, but that's because I'm just sketching it, right? If I used my tools correctly, right, these would end up being the same, all right? So if this was a 30-degree angle, so would this one. If this was a 60-degree angle, so would this one. So they would end up being exactly the same size. So I realize that mine's a little off, but you get the gist, right? That it's copying the angle. So you create a copy of angle A. Alright, so those are the 4 steps. Okay, so now let's talk about, okay, the final construction. Okay, so when you're all done, what your picture should look like. You'll have your original angle, right? We name this A, with the arc and the intersecting arc. So this was D, and this was C, right? And then you have your new angle with the arc. We name this B and this E. And you have this little arc, right? Because that told you where to connect it. And you get, I believe, F. So in the end, this is what the construction will look like, give or take, right? Now this is important because, one, it creates congruent, right? This is the symbol for congruent. It's an equal sign with a little wavy do on top, okay? Fix that a little bit, alright? Angles, which means equal angles, right? It creates two angles that are exactly the same. And, alright, we will use it to create parallel lines. Okay, so it's really important because later on, when we get to this one, okay, we're going to need this again. Alright, so this was CS2, right? Make sure you watch the video so that you're ready to practice in class.